Good evening. Welcome to beautiful Brookhaven, even on this rainy night in Georgia. Thank you so much for coming out. I know it was kind of a challenging night, but we so appreciate you coming out tonight to share with us what is a pretty momentous event for us and a great anniversary. I also want to personally welcome you to District 1. This is my district up on this northern end of our fair city. I have a couple of thank yous and acknowledgments I want to get out first. A very big thank you and a appreciation to the Holiday Inn Express. Have they done a beautiful job? They have been such a delight to work with. They have been so excited to work with us, which we so appreciate, and I think they've done a magnificent job and made it extremely easy and cost-effective for us to do. If you've never been here before, it's a great place for an event, and I can tell you the rooms have all been renovated and they are fantastic. So thank you again, Holiday Inn, great job. I also want to give a shout out to our good friends at the PCID who have also helped sponsor this event, and I want to recognize Yvonne Williams over here. We have some elected officials with us who I really want to recognize. I'm so pleased to see our DeKalb CEO, Lee May. Stand up, Lee. Lee has just been a fantastic partner to work with, and we just look forward to continuing great things working together. I want to recognize DeKalb Commissioner Jeff Rader. Also, State Representative Scott Holcomb. And you'll hear a little bit more from State Representative Mike Jacobs tonight, but stand up and say hello, Mike. I want to recognize our former DeKalb CEO, Leanna Levitan, who's here. Great to see you, Leanna. And I saw City Councilman Tom Hogan from Chamblee. Where'd Tom go? Oh, there you are. There you are. Thanks for coming, Tom. I wanted to say hello to Stan Jester, who's our newly elected DeKalb Board of Education representative, with his equally well-known wife, Nancy Jester, who used to hold that seat. Great to see you both. They are good neighbors in Dunwoody, but we don't hold that against them. I do want to recognize, I think all of the members of our Brookhaven Governor's Commission are here tonight, and they were the ones who did all the hard planning and got us up and running in an unbelievably timely fashion. The chair of that group was Ben Vinson. The other governors were Todd Lantier, okay, J.D. Clockadale, and Jed Beardsley. Just a great group. I noticed that our municipal court judge, the Honorable Laura Stevenson, is here. Thank you, Laura. We are moving the municipal court over to some new digs on Beaufort Highway, and I toured it the other day, and it's going to be fantastic. And the deputy judge, or the other judge, is Jonathan Grenade. Have I missed any of the elected officials? I do want to recognize some of our staff. We have been so blessed. You all know what a quick startup we had. Unbelievable, record-setting, 0 to 60 in no time at all. I want to recognize our city manager, Marie Garrett, who steers the ship on a daily basis. I want to recognize our city clerk, Susan Hyatt. Where'd Susan go? I saw our community development director, Susan Cannon. There she is, okay. And please welcome our new Parks and Rec Director, Jerry Kinsley. And I would be remiss and probably under arrest if I didn't recognize our Chief and Deputy, Gary Yandura and Ron Freeman. And if there's any other city staff and employees, stand up and let us give you a little hand. Oh, and Mike Vessia, oh my gosh. Mike is our new Director of Tourism and is really responsible for setting up this event. So my bad for not putting you at the top of the list. So if you like the hors d'oeuvres and the wine, tell him. You have him to thank you. So with that, I think we're going to get going. This is, again, an eventful night for us to celebrate, and you'll be hearing a great speech. And I will let my other city council people introduce themselves. Thank you.
Good evening. All right, great. Good spirit here. I get the honors to do the Pledge of Allegiance, but before I start, I would like to ask anybody who's a veteran to please stand. And please remain standing. Let's thank them. Okay, don't sit down. Do not sit down. Continue to stand, please. When we have our council meetings, we go through a series of rituals, and one of them is doing the Pledge of Allegiance. There's a phrase in there that I just want to point out, with liberty and justice for all. With liberty and justice for all. So when we give the pledge tonight, I want you to really think about that phrase for these people here and for every American that's out there in defense of our country and for those that have given the ultimate price. Because liberty is not free. Freedom is not free. It needs to be fought for. These folks have done it, and we have a lot of Americans out there who have done it and given the ultimate. So please join me now. Everybody stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Bates Madison, a District 3 council member. I'd like to thank each of you for taking time out of your day to attend tonight's State of the City address. Tonight we're here to celebrate the first City of Brookhaven State of the City address, which is fitting because exactly 2 years ago, on July 31st, 2012, we celebrated the approval of our voters' referendum to incorporate our City of Brookhaven. On this same day, exactly 1 year ago, we stood in town Brookhaven to celebrate one of our proudest achievements, the launch of the City of Brookhaven Police Department. Let's give them a round of applause for the tireless and vigilant work they do. But tonight, we're gathered here for a reason. Mayor J. Max Davis will deliver the State of the City address and highlight the 2014 year in review and forecast for 2015. We're here so that you, the residents, business leaders, fellow elected officials, and community at large can see how we as a city are progressing in improving the quality of lives for our 50,000 residents. As we listen to Mayor Davis deliver his first address, I hope that you continue to trust, believe, and depend on us to make Brookhaven better. Now I'd like to introduce State House Representative Mike Jacobs. Mike Jacobs is one that actually called and asked me if I would consider to run in this race, so I don't know whether to thank him or otherwise for that concern, but it truly allowed me to embark on one of the most enriching times of my life. Representative Jacobs has served over 10 years in our state legislature, representing House District 80. He has been a true public servant over this period, championing issues such as cyberbullying in our schools, property tax reform, and MARTA oversight, currently serving as the chairperson of MARTOC. Great job in the way MARTA's going these days. Thank you. The city would not exist today without Representative Jacobs' legislative leadership and his introduction of a bill to allow for the incorporation of Brookhaven. So without further ado, please help me welcome State Representative Mike Jacobs.
Thank you. Well, good evening. You know, it's a great honor to have been asked to give the introduction for the first State of the City address of the first mayor of the city of Brookhaven. And when I thought about, I got so excited, in fact, I grew a beard. But in thinking about that, I got to thinking a little bit about how significant that role is, being the first of anything. I mean, we've taken these days to numbering our elected officials. We tell the difference between the two Presidents Bush by their numbers, 41 and 43. If those are not your political stripes, Barack Obama is 44. Governor Deal has a little plaque on his desk, his nameplate. It says he's the 82nd governor of Georgia. I got on Facebook after Jeff Mann was reelected sheriff, and let's give that a round of applause. After Jeff Mann was reelected sheriff, I noticed on Facebook that he thanked everyone for reelecting him the 49th sheriff of DeKalb County. I didn't even know we were counting sheriffs of DeKalb County. But we've taken to numbering elected officials. Well, I have the distinct honor of introducing for his first State of the City address, the first mayor of the city of Brookhaven. And that role, the first mayor, really required a unique person with a unique personality and a unique temperament that this person I'm about to introduce really has. And I want to, I say that because, of course, we did have a tough referendum campaign. And that's something we have to acknowledge. I mean, this was the closest vote of any new city that has been incorporated, you know, Sandy Springs on through the most recent referendum, Brookhaven. We had the closest referendum, and it was a tough fight. And J. Max Davis, in particular, is well suited for this moment. And I want to talk about that from a personal perspective. It's no secret that J. Max Davis and I were once adversaries. Back in 2004, we ran against each other. And opponents come and opponents go. I've had now six campaigns and 6 opponents. And you tend to not keep in touch with opponents all that much in politics. But J. Max Davis was the exception. Not long after I was first elected, and throughout the time that I have served in the General Assembly, I've stayed in communication with Jay. And what I've noticed about Jay is that he listens. He listens to people. He takes to heart what you're saying to him. You're not always going to agree in the end. Most of the time, Jay and I do agree. Sometimes we don't. Occasionally we don't. But he always listens to me. And and the thing I've noticed about him is that's not just me because I'm in the State House. It's everybody. And that listening and taking to heart what people are saying, even if in the end we may not agree, has been an absolutely critical skill for leading this city at this point in time. J. Max Davis was uniquely suited to be the first mayor of the city of Brookhaven. And he's had a tough task. I mean, starting a city from scratch. And he had some help. I mean, we've got our governor's commission here, and I certainly commend them for the outstanding work they did. But once it came time to swear in a mayor and city council, there was J. Max Davis on the ground, the first mayor of the city of Brookhaven, needing to get an awful lot done in a very short period of time with the members of the city council. And I'll admit, no government is perfect. Not everybody, I mean, you can't, it's the old Abraham Lincoln adage, you can't please all the people all the time. And I've stopped trying, by the way. 10 years of this, I've stopped trying. You can't please all the people all the time. No government is perfect, but look at what has been accomplished in this very short period of time in Brookhaven. Where'd Gary Andura go? There he is. Our outstanding police department. I mean, you see cruisers, and this is really true. I mean, I say this in public comments, but it's true. You can't drive through the city of Brookhaven without seeing at least one cruiser, if not more. And that is a testament to the outstanding police work that we are getting out of our new Brookhaven Police Department. Now, Chief Yandura happens to be a neighbor of mine well, I shouldn't disclose the street, but people track it down. And I'm sure there's a conspiracy theory that says I created this whole city just so that the police chief would live on my street. And that's not true either, but the work that Jay did in taking his even-handed, uniquely suited personality and finding the right police chief to lead an outstanding police department, it just speaks volumes. And they're doing a great job, and they're everywhere. And repaving, my goodness, you can't swing your arm without hitting a paving truck these days in the city. And we're seeing repaving and sidewalk projects that we never would have seen. And that's just a reality. We've acquired the parks, or the city has acquired the parks. Is doing a good job keeping them up and going and getting the pools open on time for the summer season. Congratulations on that, because that alone was not an easy thing for a new city to do. And we'll be moving forward with an aggressive program in the future to improve those parks. And all of this, I mean, there's always all this back and forth over property taxes. All of this for less than you would pay if you lived in unincorporated DeKalb County. So the city is off to a strong start. And it was going to require someone who communicates, who listens, who, even if he knows that he's going to be talking to an audience that may not agree with him, will go and listen and take whatever slings and arrows come his way. And he does this all the time. Outstanding communication skills, outstanding leadership skills. I am very proud to introduce J. Max Davis, the first mayor of the city of Brookhaven, my friend, our mayor, J. Max Davis.
Thank you. Y'all sit down. I don't need any of that. One thing we need to take care of real quick. Pastor Darius D. Moore from the China Grove Missionary First Baptist Church is going to come give our invocation.
May we pray. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for this another expression of your goodness. We thank you for this occasion that we've come to celebrate and to remember and to just be able to be in a celebration mode for the first mayor of this city. We ask your blessings upon each council member, official, and community alike. We ask that in everything that we do, may it be done to the glory of your name and for your glory, that we in our serving may be better fit for your kingdom. It is in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. All right. We got about 12 bottles of water up here. I hope I don't go through all of them, but. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Rebecca, Bates, Joe, for those wonderful words and kind introductions. And thank you, all the elected officials that are here. You've been recognized. Bill Riley, our city solicitor, is also here as well. Bill, if you'll stand up. We appreciate you here. Is there anyone else who came in late that we missed? All right. Just want to make sure. Good evening. Welcome, Brookhaven citizens, fellow elected officials, business leaders, city staff, and community partners. It is an honor to be here today and representing Brookhaven, Georgia's newest city. There's one more citizen here tonight who deserves special recognition, who has supported me throughout the cityhood campaign and the mayoral campaign. Some of you may know her as a teacher or a mother, but around my house, we simply call her the mayor, my wife, Carrie. Carrie, thank you, Carrie. If you please stand up. Thank you. I know town hall meetings or Tuesday night council meetings that last until midnight are tough during the school year. And it puts a big burden on a working mother with 3 children, and I certainly want to say how much I appreciate that. The rest of my family is here. Please, all of you stand up. The rest of everybody, please stand up. My mother, Mary, here. My brother, Todd, my sister, Stacy, and of course, my children, Lydia, Max, and Liza. Thank you all. All right. I appreciate your support all throughout my life, so thank you very much. Now, as more communities in DeKalb County are looking at cityhood, it is an honor for me to be here on July 31st, the 2-year anniversary of the day we proudly voted to incorporate. We will celebrate 2 years of full-fledged city operations about 6 months from now. At just over 50,000 people, we remain DeKalb County's largest city, but perhaps not for long. I have to admit a bit of trepidation today. This is my first State of the City speech for Brookhaven, and my first State of the City speech ever, of course. And I wanted to make sure, as I sat down to work, that I kept in mind the lessons from my speech class at UGA. I recall the rule, make sure your speech is at least 2.5 hours long. So, check. All right. Actually, I recall the maxim, tie into your message quotes from famous people. Well, I'm reminded of when Winston Churchill, speaking just after World War II, was introduced as, quote, the heart of the British lion. Churchill corrected the person who introduced him, saying that the heart of the British lion was in fact the British people. But it was his privilege when called upon to be able to sound their roar. On a much smaller scale, of course. I know the people of Brookhaven are the heart of our city, and I'm here today to sound their roar. I want to explain how a quote from another political figure, one of my heroes, guides me as Brookhaven's mayor. I was 9 years old when I heard Ronald Reagan say, government is not the solution to our problems, government is the problem. Along with my father, Reagan was and is my political hero, and that quote set me on fire. It crystallized, even for a 9-year-old, the fundamental misperception that government, any government, could solve every problem in everyone's life. We know in our hearts that no government can fix everything, but our expectation is, for some inexplicable reason, that it should. So how did that 9-year-old end up as the head of a government, a brand new government, a government that was criticized as being another layer of government before it was even formed? How can I make sure that Brookhaven's government doesn't become the problem? You've probably heard of our lowered millage rate, our financial reserve, our efficient delivery of services. I will touch on this later. Some of the other newer cities have similar accomplishments. But my question is, how can Brookhaven distinguish itself, help ensure that we don't become the problem in 10 to 20 years? I'll start with what I learned from my father. He was a delegate for Ronald Reagan in 1976, and he served in the State House for 22 years. He never voted for a tax increase, not once. He passed a few bills, one of which reduced the size of jury pools. That doesn't sound like an earth-shattering piece of legislation, but it has saved millions of dollars for county judicial systems since it was passed, and it's still doing so today. As a matter of fact, one of the bills he was proud of was one that made square dancing the official dance of Georgia. Not because he was a big square dancer going to hoedowns, but because it didn't cost the taxpayer a dime. Invariably, he would get opposition from the latest political newcomer. They would challenge his record in a debate or some other forum. "Davis, what bills have you passed? You've done nothing." He would pause and answer, "Well, there are plenty of fools running around the legislature passing new laws and regulations that are costing the taxpayer money." That's all he ever said. Max Davis was reelected 11 times. I think that proves he was onto something the voters appreciated. So how do we explain what kind of government we are? And how do we make sure that we are a government that is not the problem? Well, let's do a little compare and contrast. Where were we as an unincorporated community, and where are we now? Most of you know I was president of Brookhaven Yes, our incorporation group. Thank you again to all of you who are a part of that, and please stand if you are a volunteer. Come on, stand up. I know you're shy. Come on. If you're a part of Brookhaven Yes or Citizen of North DeKalb, you need to stand up. Come on. Get up. All right. Alan, you put out signs. You were there too. Thank you again. And as you may guess, I support the efforts of various groups around the county who are looking to form new cities. I'm confident that DeKalb will start to embrace new cities and see the advantages of partnering with us and other truly local movements. CEO May was here earlier tonight, and I want to thank him for his willingness to give the very idea of cityhood in DeKalb, the new movements, a fair shake. Apparently, interim is Latin for much improved. I'm also appreciative of the new collaborative relationship with his staff, and in particular, Zach Williams, the county COO, he has with our city manager. Thank you, Lee, and thank you, Zach, and thank you for the new era that we have in collaboration and cooperation with DeKalb County, our biggest partner. For the majority of voters on both sides of our cityhood debate, it came down to either, let's give this cityhood thing a shot, or, I'm not too sure about this, let's hold off. I respected both opinions as those of reasonable people thoughtfully disagreeing. Frankly, most of the organized opposition to cityhood, ours and others, was born of fear. Fear we couldn't make it work, fear that we couldn't afford a first-class police department, fear that we would be in deficit from the get-go, fear that taxes would have to go up. We were derisively called Brookhaven. Well, some of those fears were founded, and I understood them. But this was all being said just 18 months ago. It was being said in mailers and robocalls and on the internet. But Brookhaven has worked to overcome the fears that led to those sentiments and statements. And let me give you some specifics. Now, it isn't often that politicians bring out their campaign literature after the election, but I've always treated any literature I was involved with as a contract. And so I brought some with me tonight to help gauge whether I and city advocates are abiding by the terms and fulfilling the promise that is Brookhaven. I have some Brookhaven Yes contracts and contracts from my campaign. Most of the promises are similar, but I'm reading from the actual contracts here. We promised, quote, property taxes will be capped and you will pay the same or less that you are paying to the county. Our under the cap millage rate is 2.79. Whether it's a $300,000 home or a $1 million home, our homeowners will be paying between somewhere $50 and $220 less in property taxes respectively. Actually, earlier this week, the AJC just begrudgingly confirmed that the fact that Brookhaven homeowners pay less property taxes than those in unincorporated DeKalb. We promised that Brookhaven will have a $1 million surplus in year one. Well, we did. We put aside $1 million surplus in year one. We're using that as a reserve fund, and we should be able to more than double that amount to more than $2 million this year. We promised the police force would, quote, have at least 8 to 9 beat patrols at all times, doubling or tripling DeKalb's coverage. The Brookhaven Police Department has 8 to 10 patrols at all times, and sometimes as many as 12. We have triple police coverage in Brookhaven, and if you call our police department and let them know you'll be out of town, they'll check your house for suspicious activity. while you're gone and give you a report when you return. No charge. We promise that Brookhaven will mean better parks. We will triple the budget for parks. Oops, that's incorrect. We sextupled it. Yes, Brookhaven is not spending 3 times more on parks. We're spending 6 times more on parks. I know I see a difference now, but just wait till this fall. We're starting a basketball league. We're repairing the gym at Linwood Park. We'll be making significant capital improvements at Briarwood Park, Murphy Candler Park, Brookhaven Park, Blackburn Park, Asher Park, and all of our parks. We're having to do lots of pool repairs, and we're doing them as fast as we can. We said, quote, zoning decisions locally, and boy, are they local. We promised Brookhaven will mean better roads and would increase road spending by 300% without a tax increase by keeping our dollars here at home. Well, city crews are working right now to pave 16 roads in Brookhaven. We budgeted $1 million in 2013 and another $1.28 million this year to pave more than 6.5 miles of roadway since Brookhaven began. We patched or repaired 152 potholes, street sections in 2013, and have done another 118 so far this year. In our first year of operations, we budgeted $450,000 for sidewalks and built or repaired sidewalks in 8 sections, nearly a mile of sidewalks that hadn't either existed or that DeKalb hadn't been able to repair. This year, we budgeted $500,000 and will repair or build roughly 1.2 miles of sidewalks. There were 3 major snow and ice events this year, and Brookhaven contractors cleared more than 20 miles of main roads, including state roads like Peachtree and Beaufort Highway. We contracted street sweeping vehicles to clear the gravel and sand after the ice events and ended up sweeping more than 48 curb miles of city roads. These are all things that we could never expect or count on the county to do. But I also want to be very clear about something here. I'm not blaming DeKalb County for their past record. I understand that the demand for county services is spread out all over DeKalb, and Brookhaven's needs are concentrated to our relatively small area. DeKalb County is big, Brookhaven is small. That makes us nimble. We are able to keep our focus local, intensely local to just Brookhaven. And that's how we can address these needs efficiently and quickly. But Brookhaven Incorporated, we did not secede. We are still proudly a part of DeKalb County, and we'll continue to partner with DeKalb County on initiatives in the future. Permit wait times in Brookhaven have dropped from 2 months to 10 days. That permit wait time and friendly customer service counter, I believe, are crucial in order to be a government that is not the problem. We can run our city like a business. This is becoming common practice for new cities, and it is exciting. This is how we are addressing those fears from 18 months ago. The group of people who believed we wouldn't make it, some who specifically joined an anti-city movement, they are also still a part of our city. In fact, they are some of our most involved citizens, sometimes serving as watchdogs. Now, we get to be very blunt. A lot of criticism comes from some of them. Now, much of it is just false, but some of it is valid and comes from a place that is well-intentioned. We welcome these civil discourse efforts because they help us become a better city. Now, being the best city we can be is a high goal. We have finite resources, limited time, and lots of demands. But it's a worthy aspiration, and more importantly, it's a principle that the council and I, and the people who served on the Governor's Commission, and the folks who sit on our advisor panels, and all the yes and no people can now agree on. Think about that. We created a city, and now our former proponents and opponents are all on the same side making Brookhaven better. I see them hugging and kissing at the food truck events. It's kind of nice. Sharing banh mi sandwiches. But can we become the problem even if we have low taxes and efficiency? I know at least one newer city with where the tree ordinance is something like 70 pages long. Our proposed tree ordinance is less than a third of that size. Good law doesn't have to be overly complex. I've always said that if you're a conservative or a libertarian focused only on lowering taxes, you're only doing half the job. Lower taxes, efficient delivery, competent management aren't enough. Stopping there is like quitting at halftime because you have a 21-point lead. We also need to repeal bad law. We have to institutionalize a little common sense and not let problems and pitfalls become the enemy of that common sense. We have to simplify and reduce the size of our codes. One of the first things we did was to repeal the low-flow toilet ordinance, which said that if you were retiring and selling your home as a teardown, you had to retrofit your home with low-flow toilets, costing your retirement thousands of dollars. We repealed and replaced the overly burdensome and overly complex height restriction on new single-family home construction. I think we will have accomplished something when I can take our entire code book from this size to this size. This will be done by simplifying code, making it robust, but also resisting the urge to overthink and over-control. Remember, power flows from the people to the government, not the other way around. Part of our success in keeping spending low has been our unique hybrid staffing model that is a mixture of vendors and city employees. With department heads as city employees and vendors being held accountable for their contracts by answering to that professional city staff. Not only has this strategy allowed us to get the best expertise in all areas of municipal government, but it has resulted in large financial savings. Our city manager, Marie Garrett, renegotiated, look, she's texting right now, and emailing and doing some work. She renegotiated our contracts with some of those vendors and saved Brookhaven more than $4 million. This and more has been done in just 18 months. We're the first city to try this model, and I think it's going to work. And Marie, you're obviously a big part of that, so thank you. Well, how else can we be not the problem? Listening and communicating. Right off the bat, I thought, Mondays with the mayor. For citizens, no agenda, no dress code, and that's been abused a little bit sometimes by some folks, the no dress code part. If you want to speak to your mayor, you just set up a time on a Monday and meet with him. I don't know of any city in the metro area that does this. I think this is really important because it shows that citizens come first, and it was the citizens that helped to build this city, and they will always have the prime access. They are my boss. And back to a campaign promise in one of those contracts, my office at City Hall doesn't have a door, so come on by and sit down. Good government communicates, which means it informs the citizens and listens to their concerns. We have an email blast list, a Facebook page, a Twitter account, and regularly published newsletters that go to every homeowner in Brookhaven through the mail. We're creating a brand new dedicated website for city news. It should be up and running right now. So check brookhavencitylimits.com for all the updates about all things Brookhaven is doing and planning. Whether it's making sure we have all our homeowner association lists or putting door hangers when we're repairing a section of sidewalk or road, Brookhaven works hard to tell everyone about everything we're doing. I don't know of any other city in the metro area, metro Atlanta area, that does as much notification and communication and outreach as Brookhaven does. But I feel we have to. It's a crucial part of being a good government. Good government is not just repealing bad law, running programs efficiently, and delivering value-added services. We have to protect our neighborhoods and our whole community's quality of life. Quality growth that respects the single-family neighborhood as its core. In addition to a comprehensive plan, we are now on the cusp of adopting the Beaufort Highway Improvement Plan, the Comprehensive Transportation Plan, the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. These will help Brookhaven carry out a vision for future development in our city, and they give predictability to the citizens on what they can expect from their city. This is an enormous amount of work undertaken with a very aggressive schedule. But with each of these plans, as with every step the council has taken, we have operated under the same guiding principle of doing what is best for Brookhaven's general wealth, health, safety, and well-being, and wallets. As part of that principle, we are in the midst of inspecting exteriors of every multifamily residence in the city to ensure compliance with maintenance codes. To date, we have inspected a quarter of the 66 apartment complexes in Brookhaven. This includes everything from making sure there are working fire extinguishers to the HVAC being in order and ensuring that playgrounds and pools are kept in safe working order. We're going to make sure that the interior living quarters in apartments are just as safe as the exterior. We want all families in Brookhaven to be safe, regardless of their income level. That is how good government fixes problems. Perhaps the thing that I'm most proud of is just how safe our city really is. Since the launch of the Brookhaven Police Department in July of last year, I can't drive through the city without seeing a Brookhaven patrol car ride past me or a Brookhaven police officer checking on the safety of a business. We have the best police chief in Georgia, Gary Yandura. Yes. It's easy to get applause when you talk about the police in Brookhaven, I'm telling you that. How do I know that our chief is best? Because I've met a lot of other police chiefs in Georgia, and they tell me how lucky we are to have him. And because our police get applause as they enter restaurants or other places in the city. That was astounding to me. Police officers telling me they walk into a restaurant, people just stood up and started applauding. That shows how committed our police staff is and our chief is, and how much our citizens appreciate the fine work that they do. I want to thank our council, Bates, Rebecca, and Joe. Please stand again, please. We agree on many things and we disagree on a few, but without a doubt, we have the best council in Georgia. I know this because we truly have a single vision for our city, and we work as a unified team for what we know will bring that vision into reality. And I know that's rare in city councils across the state because we go to the GMA convention where they're all the city councilors are in attendance, and I see some of the drama that goes on. We don't really have that with our city council. It's great. Over the next 18 months, I see a Brookhaven that continues to move toward a better future. We need to build on our early successes. Just today, we had a Google representatives at City Hall, and I'm pleased to say that Brookhaven is on track with a Google Fiber project, which will bring internet speeds in Brookhaven 1,000 times faster than at present. Thank you again, Marie. Yes. Thank you to Marie for staying on top of that hugely important project. I hear about it from folks you never think will be involved in politics. I got all these Google folks in the city. Yeah, bring us that fiber. We got to have it, got to have it. So we're going to try and get it. We're on track. We took over the parks from DeKalb County, parks that have the infrastructure or the bones that can make it the best park system in Metro Atlanta. I want to bring more community building festivals like the Soccer Fest that drew nearly 15,000 people to our city. The food trucks have been great, and music and cultural events are something I want to continue to initiate. Family-friendly, well-organized, and policed events that are conscious of neighbors, noise, and traffic. And speaking of traffic, we inherited a fairly heavy traffic problem, and we're not going to sit around without at least initially trying to help take the edge off of it. Our first effort will begin in September. It is aimed at traffic relief and is occurring on the Ashford-Dunwoody-Johnsons Ferry corridor. I know you've all sat in here. Yes. We are hopeful this fix will lead to improved conditions in Brookhaven and surrounding cities like Chamblee and Dunwoody. Cooperation with our municipal neighbors is crucial for congestion relief, and we look forward to future collaboration with these friends. Now I want to thank again our council, Bates, Rebecca, and Joe. Councilmember Joe Gebbia wants Brookhaven to be seen as environmentally friendly as possible. We're working on that already. He helped spearhead our designation as a city of ethics and continues to make sure Brookhaven minds its P's and Q's. Thank you, Joe, for that continued work. Councilmember Rebecca Williams has taken the leadership role on our new tree ordinance. And now that we've adopted the cherry tree as our official tree, she's working on ways to celebrate that this spring. The aforementioned traffic issue is something she's always working on as well. And yes, she is watching the budget like a hawk. Councilmember Bates Madison never stops pushing for economic growth, business development, and making Brookhaven a center for jobs and economic activity. And tomorrow afternoon, we are being interviewed by the State Commission for Charter Schools to see if we can launch the Brookhaven Innovation Academy, a first-of-its-kind, state-sponsored independent charter school for Brookhaven. Brookhaven.education is the site for this effort. And again, thank you to Bates for helping drive that bus. No pun intended. The initiatives listed above are things that we all believe and have collaborated on as a unified team. I know that each of us is optimistic about Brookhaven's future, and that we need to take this jewel that Brookhaven is today and improve upon it and enhance it. Yes, we want to make our current citizens happy, but we want to make future generations, their grandchildren, proud of Brookhaven, a Brookhaven that really is the jewel of the Southeast. We want to take Brookhaven's current successes and build on them. It's one thing to build a couple miles of sidewalks, that's a feature. But we need to keep building them until we've created a truly walkable city, connecting neighborhoods to neighborhoods, neighborhoods to parks and retail areas. That is the benefit. Can we build enough sidewalks so that we can have lessened the need for people to use their cars and make that an additional element of reducing traffic in Brookhaven? That's part of the vision we're developing right now. It's one thing to have a great police department working to keep our citizens safe, but we need to also make sure that we're getting them where they need to be as fast as possible, which is why we're switching our 911 service over to Chatcom. This will provide our citizens with an emergency communication department that is fast, accurate, and accountable. No more answering machines for Brookhaven 911 calls. That's just another way how we build on the early success of our police department. Increased public safety, quicker response times, sustainable development into the future, getting government out of the way, lowering taxes, making laws that work, and creating information accessible to all of our citizens. These are just some of the benefits of municipalization. They're not pie-in-the-sky promises, they're real. Cityhood for Brookhaven has meant creating a form of government that I hope would make both my father and Ronald Reagan proud. We will continue to pass laws that strike the balance between protecting people and getting out of their way. We will continue to find ways to provide property tax relief while increasing the city's reserve fund and protecting its financial future. I know that as Brookhaven grows as a city and more communities choose new cityhood, these positive benefits will only increase. We want to spread the wealth of knowledge we're acquiring to other communities just as it was shared with us from other new cities and governments. We want to spread quality growth and quality government. We will continue to partner with DeKalb County in new and better ways to achieve things through partnership that just wouldn't be possible if Brookhaven didn't exist. We are striving to be a government that works, government that is not the problem. We can't claim that the city of Brookhaven is perfect. Bumps in the road are a part of every city startup. But we can point to all these accomplishments and prove that cityhood is a better form of government than what we had before our citizens voted to incorporate just 2 years ago. Our laws are better. Our public safety is better. Our streets are better. Our parks are better. All of this with our property taxes lower. Brookhaven is better, and the state of our young city is very strong. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you listening to me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Marie, you want to come on up? We just got another little bit of good news earlier today. I'll let Marie talk about that. Well, we have Mike Adelson. I don't know if he was recognized earlier. He's the head of our GIS department, which makes all the maps for our city. And on the website, you can see his award-winning maps. And I love maps. They're all over my office at City Hall. You need to come see them. I've got about 12 up. But Brookhaven was just awarded the Distinguished System for Exemplary Systems in Government Award, given out by the Urban and Regional Information Systems Association. It's called URESA. I guess it's a government entity. And that's not the first award we've gotten with Mike. And since 1980, this award has recognized extraordinary achievements in the use of geospatial information technology that have improved the delivery and quality of government services. So thank you again, Mike, for putting us at the top of the list when it comes to our mapping.
Great job, Mayor. Thank you. As you can, if you've just heard from the mayor's comments, we have such an exciting future, and boy, have we had a rapid and warp speed last 18 months. All I can say is fasten your seatbelt and get ready for so much more and so much great things, so many great things that are ahead of us. I want to thank the mayor and council especially for allowing their patience of me to listen to sometimes what I'm thinking. I'm sure they think, where did she get that idea? But I appreciate their willingness to hear us out, myself and my staff, to always ask the question, how does this serve the community? How does this serve the citizens? And how does this serve our business community? So I'm very appreciative that you're always willing to listen. I'm very appreciative that you're willing to take those steps with me so that we can move your city forward. This city has such a bright future, and I'm so pleased to be a part of it.
But I want to say one thing about the work that I do. It's not by myself. And I want to just take 1 minute, if you would allow me, please. I want every one of my staff members to stand up, starting first with my Assistant City Manager, Susan Cannon, and everybody that works for the City of Brookhaven. Please stand up. And we have officers standing up already, so I don't want you to miss out on them, and also Michael Lee with our Communications Department. These staff members work hard every single day and many, many nights for the citizens of Brookhaven. I am so appreciative and I'm so grateful to my staff. They make everybody in this city look good, so thank you so much for that. We've heard a lot about what the mayor said tonight about the exciting future, the predictability of some very aggressive planning documents and initiatives that are coming forward with us. And I'm so excited because it truly does set the roadmap for citizens and corporations here to have predictability, to understand what is ahead of them, not just yet next year, not just in 5 years, but in the next 20 years. The best things about these planning documents and tools are that they require and you as citizens can expect accountability from your mayor and council. And for that, I'm very excited about, because this will serve as a great budget tool for the city, for the citizens to track what we're doing and how we can efficiently and effectively provide services to each and every one of you. In order to do that, and in order to facilitate these plans, we have to do it with building relationships. And I'm very proud that we have the PCID here with us tonight. They stepped up first and wanted to sponsor, and I'm very excited about that. We have members of the PCID that serve on our steering committee. Jennifer Harper, so glad that you're here tonight, a citizen also of Brookhaven. And we also have a bunch of steering committee members, so stand up, please, because you need to be recognized. You've just done yeoman's work in getting these plans together. But developing a plan, and soon when the mayor and council consider these plans for adoption, it just doesn't stop there. What happens next is building those relationships and sustaining those relationships, whether it's with our county partners, our city partners, our state partners, our PCID, our business partners, and our citizen partners. We've got to work together to move ourselves forward. And I can assure you, members of the state reps and our county partners as well, in our plans, with the initiatives, the aggressive initiatives that we have, we're not going to come asking you for a complete handout, because we're going to have skin in the game too. We're never going to ask for something that we're not going to be a participant in helping pay and move forward, because that's what partnership is about, and that's what building relationships are about. So excited that you all are here tonight. It's going to be a tremendous future. Please stay on, hang on for this ride. It's history in the making, and you all should be very proud to be a part of it, because I am. Thank you so much.